Alongside Mary Murphy, Kirsten Watson, the third member of our team, will join us later in the broadcast as we get things started. And Raquana Williams starts off with the ball.
Keeper Indiana in the first quarter get off to a good start. They have struggled to do that. They have dug themselves some gigantic holes, and they do a great job of getting themselves out of them. But if you want to win here tonight, you can't go down big.
Chelsea Gray with an attempt on the inside. Wanted the contact and doesn't get it. Erica Wheeler has to match up Raquana Williams with that assignment. Right away, Mary, you see how Candace Dupree has gone in to Teaira McCowan.
Go a little high-low action, and why not? McCowan had a tremendous game against New York. 24 points on 7 of 13, shooting 8 rebounds. Terrific to see her in the lineup.
Teaira Ruffin-Pratt misses everything there, but to your point, Mary, Hokie said, this is our mantra. Play to T, play through T, and we definitely got to play off of T, as there's a foul on the floor that's going to go against the Sparks.
And if she doesn't make the basket, she's been getting fouled a lot. In that New York game, 10 of 14 from the free throw line.
That's the first foul that's going to go against Teaira Ruffin-Pratt. Teaira McCowan steps up to the free throw line for her 10th start of her career, but she has been putting up phenomenal numbers, Mary. She's 3 games where she's had double-figure scoring, a big game for her, her career high in points in previous games.
Well, she's a big, important part of their today, but going forward into the future, she's a cornerstone, and so they're going to start working off of her. She's having about 20 minutes a game. That's going to go up as the season comes to an end.
Nneka Ogwumike trying her luck at the 15-footer doesn't go. Erica Wheeler, beautiful dish on the inside for Kennedy Burke. And you know she has a couple of fans in the stands that are cheering her on right now. She has for 10 tickets. We'll see if we can get some more information on that later in the broadcast.
Well, her point guard in college, Jordan Canada. She knows how to move well without the basketball.
Around the rim for the first shot attempt for Raquana Williams. You can see the battle on the inside between Nneka and Teaira. Raquana Williams limits him to 1 shot, and Candace Parker with the ball in the corner. Shot no good. This is a fast-paced game from Tip, but both teams doing a great job in transition D, Mary.
Really nice job there. 3 folks back for the Sparks, forcing Wheeler to kind of U-turn and bring it back out.
So Fever 6. Sparks still looking to get on the scoreboard. Mentioned how important it is to start off well, and that's how you do things the right way, finding Nneka wide open underneath.
Well, here's one of the challenges for the rookie. Handling Nneka. You got to guard her. You start Nneka high, and you just keep her moving. It's going to be a tough check.
So Candace Parker was in front of McCowan, and Raquana Williams broke that up underneath. But let's go back to that basket by Nneka.
Beautiful pass, and we've seen this over the years so many times. Move without the basketball. Terrific vision by Candace Parker.
And it's so funny you said just Teaira learning how to play the defense on Nneka, as Candace Dupree is now on the scoreboard with 2 points. But Teaira McCowan, a 2-time SEC Defensive Player of the Year. She was Defensive Player of the Year for the Naismith as well as WBCA. She's pretty much done everything you can on the defensive end, but there's still a learning curve in the league.
Especially the way this league has evolved. When, as you see, Nneka, again, bringing Teaira out. Chasing out players like that. Didn't have to do a lot of that in college.
Nneka Ogwumike with all 4 points for the Sparks.
The post up on Parker. I mean, there wasn't much that Candace Parker could do there, but hope she missed.
Her 6'7" frame getting the ball on the inside. Definitely a target on the inside is Tiffany Mitchell all the way to the rim. A block called, and that's going to go against Chelsea Gray, who's looking to pick up the charge, but inside the circle.
The drive. Like Good establishment of position, but a block, and Mitchell at the free throw line.
Initially live, Mary, it looked like she was on the inside, but as we saw on the replay there, her feet were on the outside, but can't get all the calls. Tiffany Mitchell knocks down the first one. And the second. To give her team a 6-point lead here in the first quarter. Erica Wheeler really broke that up at the top of the key for the give and go, and the Fever make them pay.
Oh, she read that thing beautifully, and just what a beautiful reaction to down the floor. Fever defense turning it up. Managing to get over the top of that, steal and go. Give it up. Layup. You got some pace going early for Indiana.
Erica Wheeler, it's not just the offense with her, but defensively, that's where she's a terror as well. As Tiara Ruffin-Pratt knows her side of the defensive end as well. Elena Beard said she needs to get the nod or some attention for Defensive Player of the Year.
She's done a nice job. Doesn't get the steals that Elena Beard does, but a little more physical than Beard defensively.
She said Elena Beard was her mentor and a big reason why she chose to come to LA. And if you're a defender, you definitely want to look at that two-time Defensive Player of the Year in Elena Beard. Mitchell with 10 on the shot clock, trying to find something in the paint. Finds Kiera McCowan for two.
Great pass, and that's something Indiana's going to continue to get better at. Give her the ball where she can just turn and be right at the rim.
Air ball for Laquana Williams. No shot clock reset. She will try again. She's still looking to get on the scoreboard. But this has to be the fourth attempt for the Sparks. 10 on the shot clock. Candace Parker taking things in her own hands, but can't get it to fall. Beautiful take. But Erica Wheeler once again getting things started offensively for her squad. Stripped away by Tiara Ruffin-Pratt, and it's been very interesting. Fever have been on fire.
McCowan in 5 minutes of play, already 6 points and 2 rebounds. Doing a great job of finding her inside. Beautiful dish. Indiana early, playing well.
Back, we're going to drop it down to the third member of our team, Kirsten Watson, with a report.
Thanks, Angel. So I caught up with Coach Fisher ahead of the game, and he said while there is so much excitement about having all 12 players back for the first time this season, tonight is about competing. As you've seen, the Fever have come out strong. They're fighters, and they're not going to give up for the Sparks. So in order for them to clinch that playoff spot, they will have to compete hard.
Thanks, Kirsten. Fever with the 14th to get things going for the Sparks offensively. Nneka Ogwumike has been that spark for them so far from the floor. And Chelsea Gray comes up with a rebound, finds Nneka in open court.
Candace Parker sits, Chiney Ogwumike on the floor, Sid Weeks on the floor.
And that's transition offense that doesn't fall for them underneath, but that could have definitely gone for the Fever and something that they're looking for in their offense. Tiara McCowan with the rebound. And Erica Wheeler's going to slow things down for her team.
Nneka just incredible defense. Help on Weiss, for Weiss, and then recover and get the steal. One of the best defenders in the WNBA.
And high IQ, just knowing where they were trying to get the ball as well. As there was a foul underneath by Candace Dupree on Chiney Ogwumike. So that's the second team foul. Both teams are sitting at 2 as Elena Beard comes into the game for Tiara Ruffin-Pratt.
A great look at Dupree in her 14th year, 4 with Chicago, 7 with Phoenix, and now in her 3rd year with Indiana.
Beautiful move by Chiney Ogwumike, who then points to the bench.
But we know how much Chiney Ogwumike wants to get going. She has struggled of late with the return of Maria Vadeeva. Her minutes have gone down.
She's right there for the defensive play, but has the arm of Candice Dupree as well. And she will pick up her first foul, but we must talk about that beautiful step back for her.
Yeah, just plays with great energy. And the goal, make McCowan move defensively. Beard on Wheeler.
If you want to disrupt the all-star for the Fever, you put one of the best defenders on her in the league. 3 on the shot clock. She has to heave it up. Almost gets it to go, but Chelsea Gray tracks it down. It starts a transition offense for the Sparks. Finds Nneka underneath, but that's blocked by McCowan. She tries again and gets the 2.
One of the things that just excels at, staying with the play.
That bucket by Nneka brings it into 4 for the Sparks. Tipped out of bounds. And you can see the heat coming out of that last timeout for the Sparks defensively.
When you bring the last 2 years, the Defensive Player of the Year off the bench, you talk about bringing some heat.
McCowan and Miller take a trip to the bench. Chanela is now in the game with Kelsey Mitchell. Tiffany all the way to the bucket to beat the buzzer. And that will still take it to 6.
It's a different look for Indiana when Achonwa comes on the floor. Shoots 50% from the floor. They're going to get the charge there. But she's 9th in field goal percentage. Just making something happen in attack mode. Slices right into that tunnel. And comes away with points.
And honestly, could have been called for the foul too against Sid Reeves. It looks like she got her at the top of the head there. But either way, finishes for 2. Double screen at the top. Masha Vadeeva is in the game for the Sparks. And another turnover for the Sparks as Tiffany Mitchell takes it all the way to the left and picks up the foul.
And what did Pokachekin talk to us about before the game? The change of pace. His young backcourt just learning to use those quicks, use some pace.
So that foul is going to go against Elena of the ball game. And Tiffany Mitchell stepping up for 3 and 4 of the free throws that she's had today.
Number 15, Tierra McCowan will return for the Fever. Dupree checks out. 1 shot for Mitchell.
So Tiffany Mitchell, even in her previous season, she was starting all games until Kathy Pondexter came to the rotation, came off the bench. And now has come off the bench as well for the Fever. But at the end of the day, has been able to be that power punch player for them offensively.
That's for any player that has started most of their career, certainly an adjustment.
Chelsea Gray looking for some difficulty points there. Wants the contact too. Backdoor by Mitchell. Nothing there, but Kelsey Mitchell will fire from the 3. But that's brought down by Chiney. Chelsea Gray looking for some movement, and then she finds Chiney for a beautiful 2 underneath.
Chiney playing with a very aggressive mindset so far in this ball game.
Chelsea said one of her favorite players as a legend is Tisha Pinachero. And you can see why. Chelsea Gray has some of the best passes, and if you're looking at some of the film from before, Tisha Pinachero put on a show as well.
Without a doubt, and she's got a lot of spice in her game. There's no doubt about that. Going right into the teeth of the defense. Keeps her head up, recovers, under enough control, and the give up to Chiney. Had a triple-double earlier this season.
And just as Kalani Brown checks into the game for the Sparks, for the first time in 5 games, Tierra McCowan, who she used to go against in college, she's now taking a trip to the bench.
6 points, but 2 personal fouls.
Less than a minute here in the first. Chiney will try again from the baseline. Nothing there. And a nice grab underneath by Tiffany Mitchell. Kelsey. Free with Gray on her on the baseline. And that's a missed jumper by Laney. Got a 2-second clock and another turnover at the top of the key. That's number 3. And the Fever have scored on every single turnover for the Sparks.
And Indiana, who gave up 28 first-quarter points against New York in their last ball game. Much better job defensively so far tonight.
Elena Beard loses the ball on the side, so the Fever will get the ball back with about 6 seconds. Kelsey all the way to the rim, nothing there. And a heave will not count. As that will do for the first quarter with the Fever 20-14.
Tiffany Mitchell off to a great start. She's got 8 points. Gotten to the free throw line, did a nice job there. But Chiney off the bench, lots of energy. LA needs more of it. Down 6.
Welcome back to Staples Center. At this point in the season, every game is important. So they're trying to get things hashed out from the Sparks bench. But we should take a look at the standings to see how everything is shaking out at this point. After that Minnesota and Dallas game has finished, now that win for Minnesota puts it in 7th place. And so we're trying to get in that top 8 mark. Los Angeles with a win tonight could clinch for that 4th spot.
Minnesota was here on Tuesday night. They were down 30. They got it to 7. 4 players in double figures for the Lynx. Dantes Collier fouls, and Danielle Robinson starts and finishes with 14 points at 7 rebounds.
So this is from earlier, but as we said before, Mary, I said she barely, it looked like she didn't get the ball off, and so they did not count the bucket and wipe that one away by Tiffany Mitchell. But that one will stand as Achonwa with a beautiful dive to the basket.
So they build it right back to the 6-point lead.
Hits every part of the rim, and mostly the one that counts. Elena Beard for another 2.
Shooting much more confidently this season. Limited, of course, because of the injury, but really getting after it on the offensive end. And so are these 2. Chiney.
You got to love it. Raquana Williams was first to the basketball, but saw that Chiney Ogwumike did all the work on the defensive end. Moved right back up.
Her little sister, Erica Ogwumike, of course, Nneka's little sister as well, senior at Rice, out here doing some med school interviews. Sparks defense. Just the takeaway by Chiney, and then it's who's going to get to it first. Nice give up by Raquana. You're working that hard, Chiney. Let's give you the ball.
Way to reward your big or forward at this point for Chiney. As Tiffany Mitchell takes a trip to the bench. Kalani Brown still in the game. Finds Raquana underneath. 5 on the shot clock. She rises up. Still can't find success from the outside. Kelsey Mitchell. Achonwa with a pump fake, but then finds Laney on the corner. And AB fighting underneath for the rebound.
Great pass. Swing it reverse it, make the defense work, and then just pound the ball inside.
We are now tied with that bucket underneath, as you said before. Beautiful pass underneath and awareness from Raquana Williams. And some miscommunication at the top of the key by Mitchell and Dupree. But Sparks firing on all cylinders after the timeout.
Lee swings it. Just a perfect pass inside. And again, Kalani has not played a whole lot of late, but has worked hard in practice, shoot-arounds. We talked, we'll go.
And let that be an example, too, for anyone that's waiting for their moment. She said her mom is in her ear. And even with Coach Fisher saying, I wish I could find minutes for her, especially with the depth that they have in the front court. But she's finding those minutes. And he said, every time I put somebody on the floor, I want them to make it seem as if, like, prove me wrong.
So who's your mom? DeWanna Brown. She played in college at La Tech.
As Raquana Williams finally gets a bucket to go. Free turnaround. And it's one of the smoothest shots you'll ever see in the league.
Nobody in the history of the WNBA has more two-point field goals than Candace Dupree.
And she is also 1 point, or is only that team.
Quietly one of the best players ever. What a matchup.
And Brown and Tierra underneath. As Tierra picks up her third personal foul.
The explosive step. You don't take it to fuck it out. Knock it down.
At the line for your Sparks, number 21, Kalani Brown.
One of my off the court, a little Twitter war between her and Liz Cambage, and then when they played against each other, just getting along great.
Said it's all love. They actually had a conversation, said we need to be supporting one another. Let's hash it out. We're supposed to be competing on the floor, and all is well. In the land of the bigs, that she gets the second one to finally fall.
All right, here we go.
Nice to have a big shooting 81% from the free throw line.
Retreat dribble by Kelsey. Wheeler at the top of the key for the three. Doesn't get that one to fall. And Erica Wheeler is still scoreless as Raquana Williams puts on the jet to the basket. Finds Chiney. And Chiney finds the bucket.
But initially, great defense by Kennedy Burke with the rejection. But we've really seen the Sparks do a nice job of staying with plays.
Kennedy Burke, 6'1", with that size and frame. More defenders on this Fever team, what Coach Pokey loves about her squad, as Candace Dupree is just putting on a mid-range clinic under.
Shot on the baseline.
Sid Weiss finds a lane. But a bad pass at the top of the key, and Erica Wheeler will take all of her time for that easy bucket at the other end. 5 turnovers for the Sparks that have led to 8 points for the Fever, and that's what's led to this one. Welcome back. The Fever have a 1-point edge over the Sparks. Well, in support of the WNBA Breast Health Awareness, visit WNBA.com/assessrisk and put awareness into action to reduce the risk of breast and ovarian cancer. Is the breast cancer awareness game tonight. So you see Elle there wearing her pink, some custom designed shoes that her and her daughter wore as well, and both sides, we're wearing our pink, showing our support for everyone that has battled and is still battling through breast cancer. And we have a couple of stories that we're excited to share, but definitely a really important day for cancer awareness.
Well, we've got, it's unfortunate that we have stories, but we have a lot of stories around this ball game around breast cancer awareness.
Nneka has 3 people on her, moving the ball around the perimeter. Chelsea Gray off the backboard. Tiffany Mitchell trying to find Mavunga underneath.
Well, with Tiara McGowan having 3 personal fouls, I wouldn't expect to see her until the third quarter.
Erica Wheeler working the baseline. A lot of length that she has to pass over. 2 on the shot clock. And tip it. That's what you want to see coming out of a break if you're the Sparks.
Inspired.
So from the beginning you said it's defense for the Sparks. We've heard it. Now we see it applied. That's been the difference so far and why they've been able to make the comeback. Backdoor by Tia Ruffin-Pratt, but Candace Parker could not connect. However, there is a foul on the play. And Stephanie Mavunga, that one will be assessed to her.
Mavunga, who started at North Carolina, transferred to Ohio State.
And also played with Kelsey Mitchell.
That's a pretty dynamic team. Kevin McGuff.
7 on the shot clock as Candace Parker trying to work her magic, and Nneka Ogwumike gets tangled up underneath. And that foul is going to go against the Fever. Stephanie Mavunga back-to-back fouls for Mavunga.
We were talking about Coach Trammell, one of the assistant coaches for the LA Sparks. Her mother was diagnosed with breast cancer March 14th of 2018. Coach, her mom, Edna, 82 years old, passed away April 21st, 2019. Took care of her the whole time, took a year off. So this game means a lot to her. Her dad passed away 9 days before her mom. They buried them on the same day. That's having a rough year. That was April. And then she came here and assumed an assistant coaching position with the LA Sparks.
Well, she went to Twitter and said, "I'm wearing my pink tonight, Mom." She said passed away 11 months ago yesterday. She was diagnosed with breast cancer March 14th. And she said, Mary, she said, "This one is for you. Love you and miss you."
While we're waiting, let me see what you guys know. If you old enough to know this song, I need to hear you sing it right now.
And Mary, this is where it is so much bigger than basketball, but people paying their respects to the game, and you can see even throughout the arena how it's affected so many different people. But first, let's take a look at what the officials are looking at.
Trying to see if Kennedy Burke went to the head of Nneka Ogwumike, trying to fight through that screen to get to Chelsea Gray.
Seemed like she was just trying to swim through. I'd be surprised if it's more than a common foul there.
Agreed. But we've been surprised before.
As both teams are beckoned back on the floor and getting an explanation of what's been called. And common foul.
Okay, back to the game. All right.
It's nice to be right once in a while.
Mark that one down for me, Mary.
They like Burke on Gray. We've seen this more of late. More length on Chelsea Gray and not allowing her to shoot over people, but it doesn't matter.
Proving you're wrong, but one of the highest arcing shots from Chelsea Gray and the fadeaway to boot.
Chelsea Gray with the rookie on her. That little dig, that little fake, that jab, rocket back, a little old school, knocks it down.
Mary, that was very nice. I saw you demonstrating on the side of me just now, and I could tell you had a nice little fadeaway yourself.
Yeah, not so much.
The Fever and Tiffany or Erica Wheeler had to keep it up. Chelsea Gray with the ball. Picking apart the defense. finding Nneka Ogwumike. And we can put that on repeat throughout the season.
It's one of the things young posts have to learn when you're playing against Nneka and Chiney in particular. You have got to bust it like you're in a track meet in the 100-yard dash and get down the floor, because Nneka was just hauling it, and you got to find her, because that's what created the contact.
Never giving up on the play. Nneka Ogwumike was underneath the basket and then finally found some space to get the ball. And Chelsea Gray, one of the best to ever do it, finding her underneath.
Nneka third in the WNBA in double-doubles. She's got 11, fourth in steals, sixth in points per game, 12th in three-point percentage, and second in rebounding. Just another day at the season.
Well, that's one of the big reasons her consistency has led her to the July Player of the Month. But she's been the poise for the team. With her Chelsea Gray as well, leading this crew that has gone through a lot of adversity. Not having Raquana, not having Candace Parker for a stint, and Elena Beard, and that being the core to hold them together. Tierra Ruffenpratt from outside, and she gets it to go, even though she doesn't have the headband on. We got it. Yeah, well, she does today, Mary.
Put it back on.
Has the headband on, and so we can now call her Headband T as she gets one to drop. That three gives the Sparks a 6-point lead.
Hasn't hit this one up. A big addition.
Welcome back. The Sparks have a 6-point lead, but for Kirsten Watson picked up.
Thanks, Angel. Now, you guys said it earlier. Tonight is about more than just basketball. It's about women's health, and more specifically, breast health. And I'm lucky to be a survivor of breast cancer, and so is Coach Chapman. Her mother was diagnosed last August with stage 1 breast cancer, and after going through 6 weeks of radiation and additional medication, she is now in remission and is a survivor. And she mentioned that just, bringing awareness and taking initiative, that is truly what allowed her mother to catch her breast cancer early and be a survivor. Back to you.
Pokey told us a great story as we were talking to her before the game, that her mom went to the doctor and they said, we really need you to come back in. She's like, I'm sorry, I can't. I have to go see my daughters and watch her TV.
Exactly.
No, honey, you gotta go.
We know where the fight comes from, Pokey.
Right.
But who's listening to this broadcast, the support you have is insurmountable. As Achanwa finds the bucket, but Mary, we're wearing our pink. Kirsten's wearing her pink. The stories are endless, and
we all know so many.
Right. Second chance opportunity for the Sparks. Nneka Ogwumike goes right into Achanwa. But the basket is good, and Achanwa's a bit confused. She was outside of the circle, Mary. Your thoughts?
Well, she wasn't set. You could see her kind of trying to pedal and get herself into position. Certainly Nneka came and unloaded on her on that drive.
Nneka putting up some amazing numbers this season after coming after, some would say, a tough season the previous year, but after, she said, I was just tired. That was one of those schedules where everyone was playing the games, compact games, or travel. But she said she took some time off as Candace Dupree knocks down the 2.
You think back to last year, Nneka missed 7 games. She never misses games. Back injury, the illness that was tough to really figure out, and had to sit for a bit, and without a doubt that impacted the Sparks mightily.
Candace Parker all the way with the left, and once again can't get it to fall. Wheeler finds Mitchell, who retreat dribbles, finds Candace, and grazes the front of the rim.
Candace Parker still scoreless in this ball game. 0 for 4 from the floor. Not anymore, I'd win a bet.
All you have to do is wait for Chelsea Gray to look your way. And Candace Parker with a beautiful finish, but a more impressive pass by Chelsea Gray.
Third in the league in assists per game. Nneka getting after it up top.
And Candace tried to pick up the charge, but instead will pick up her first personal foul.
That's her first personal foul.
Little slip.
The last 2 minutes.
You can see Dupree come to help on Parker, and that's what the problem is. You want to guard Gray and shut that down. There's no rotation to Parker, and Gray does a great job of finding her. And then the call there for the charge. I'm sure Derek Fisher's like, I'm glad you want to take that charge, Candace, but maybe just do some Olay on that.
You said the UCLA grab, Burt. Second one can't go for her. Getting her first start of the night. And comes up with a monumental block.
It's nice to be back in Los Angeles from Burbank. Just up the road.
Making her presence felt underneath.
All right, here we go. Let 'em hear you.
Less than a minute here in the first half.
Faster.
And Chelsea Gray tries to raise up, but then look at Nneka underneath, but that one will not be able to connect. Kelsey Mitchell working the baseline, but instead steps on it, and that will be the 7th turnover for the Fever. The Sparks will get it back with the fresh shot clock.
The great score out of Ohio State, Kelsey Mitchell, struggling so far in this game. No points, 0 for 3 from the floor.
Mitchell back in the game for
Tiffany Mitchell comes back in, but what a year she had last year. Only rookie to have 70 made threes since 2004, and she has certainly looked for her consistency in this season. Raquana with the ball at the top of the key finds Nneka going against Achonwa. The reverse doesn't go. GRP lines up. Another one for the headband.
LA, 14 first quarter points, and they have put on an offensive show here in the second.
And they get it back with 9 seconds left. Raquana Williams, welcome back.
Who set it up? Candace Parker.
Last key for Erica Wheeler. Barely misses to finish on the half, but what a run for the Sparks. And getting it done on both sides, Mary.
A 29-point quarter for Los Angeles. Cooking on all cylinders.
Let's head down to Kirsten Watson with Coach.
Thanks, Angel. Coach, end of the first, you guys were down by 6. Now at the end of the half, you're up by 12. What shifted?
Well, we just kept playing, trying to work Raquana back in there and get her comfortable out there on the floor. Changes our substitution. Sydney's coming off, but give our players credit. They just kept playing the game.
Now those shots are falling. How do you carry that momentum into the second half?
Well, just limiting our turnovers. Indiana's, they're tough, they're quick. They're getting into us defensively, and it's speeding us up a little bit. So we got to slow ourselves down, limit our turnovers. We'll be okay.
Thanks, Coach. Back to you.
Thanks, Kirsten. Well, that Spark was led by Nneka Ogwumike, 11 points, flirting with a double-double, and 7 rebounds. That will do it for the first half with the score 43-31. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with interviews, highlights, stats, and more right after the break. Welcome back to Staples Center. Well, just looking at the highlights from the first half, Nneka said her teammates call her a bucket, and she was just that in the first half, Mary.
She really was aggressive. One of the main reasons Tara McGowan got into foul trouble and had to sit so much of that second quarter. She was in attack mode. Mid-range, active, attacking the basket. We didn't really see her step out and look for the three a whole lot. But boy, she put the ball on the floor and made things happen.
And for the Fever, Candace Dupree showing us why she's a 7-time All-Star and 6th on the WNBA scoring list.
Absolutely. 6'2". She can step away. She averages 11 a game. She's got 10 in the first half. 5 to 7. That's a tough shot on the baseline. And that
It look easy when you're looking at hard to miss a bench point on the Spark side.
Yeah, they really did a nice job of coming in. But as we were talking about during the break, that third personal on McCowan, limiting her minutes to just a little under 1 minute in that second quarter, really hurt Indiana.
And before we get the second half started, let's head down to Kirsten Watson, who took some time with Kobe Chapman just a few moments ago.
Coach, what did you tell your team at the half?
Well, I think some of the stuff in the second quarter was self-inflicted. You know, we were minus 10 on the boards. They had 14 second chance points. And we're doing a pretty good job disrupting them in a half court, but we weren't picking up our paycheck, getting that rebound.
Now, Teaira McCowan has 3 fouls. How do you keep her aggressive, but also without getting any more fouls?
You know, you want her to be aggressive, but I specifically told her she's not allowed to get another foul coming down on a guard. Stay high, stay disciplined, because she really helped us on the boards.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Kirsten. Well, that's a great point, Mary. In the first half, Teaira McCowan left the game with about 6 minutes left. And that's when the Sparks went on an 18-5 run.
That's one of the things we talked to Coach about. Go inside. A little travel, but nice pass inside by Dupree. Clapping as her rookie comes back down the floor. She talked about Sylvia Fowles, Brittany Griner, the bigs. It takes them a while to get comfortable, to get confident, to really understand what it's going to take at both ends.
We touched on the mantra for the Fever, and it goes through Teaira. She has a tough task, not only just carrying the load offensively underneath, but guarding some of the best bigs. Sparks in a zone.
Just Nneka saying no.
Well, she's just an athlete, Mary. That's one player you might want to hesitate passing over, as Teaira Ruffenpratt signals the basket is good with a beautiful working of the baseline for the and one.
Defense. Ball moves. Nneka front. You take your back, go to the chest of the big, and you're going to come away with the ball. Then Ruffenpratt on the baseline.
With the hesitation move. But you see the attention that Teaira McCowan is demanding on the defensive side. You have Nneka Ogwumike in front and Candace Parker that's dropping to the back.
Ruffenpratt coming off a game against Minnesota, did not score, 0 for 4 from the floor. Much more aggressive on the offensive end tonight.
And Teaira could have had an easy look on the left side if she had gathered herself. Nneka going right at her with the fake and the spin cycle underneath. Nneka Ogwumike.
From the defensive end or the offensive end?
It looks so nice, you got to show it twice, Mary.
On the move. And she gave up her dribble. The use of the pivot foot. Beauty in the post.
Welcome back. A lot on the line for the Sparks tonight. Just checking out the standings. 3 teams have already clinched: Washington, Connecticut, Las Vegas. Los Angeles could be that 4th.
LA has won the season series with Chicago, with Phoenix, and with Minnesota. Still to be determined. They will play Seattle, Vegas, Connecticut here on Sunday, and Washington away.
All right, let's go.
Washington's playing pretty good.
They've been consistent all season.
Goodness.
Right now, if you're looking at the polls, they're the favorite to take it all.
Oh, they've won 6 straight. That's with Oliver being hurt. I mean, they are on an absolute offensive roll.
Led by Elena Deladon, the GM voted her to be most likely to be MVP for this season. And she's shown why. Incredible numbers that she's putting up as well. Candace Parker left alone from the three-point line. Doesn't get it to fall, and Teaira McCowan comes up with her 5th rebound. No basket on the floor foul
This foul charge to number 12.
Beautiful job offensively in transition. The floor is spread, so you're able to isolate your big down low. Beautiful job at getting her the ball.
What allows you to pick up on confidence? Continued movement as there's a block called on the play.
This time, you take every little handoff and to attack the bucket.
Foul was charged to number 2.
Count the bucket.
Neko Umike, that's her first personal foul. Second team foul.
Burt steps to the free throw line, and she's been pretty stellar in her first start.
And what's going to make her a good pro? She can guard just about any position, 1 through 4. She's got 3-point range. She has good vision. She delivers. And she's a great team player, unselfish.
Of 4 of the Bruins to score 1,000 points, 500 rebounds, and 100 blocks.
Foul charge to number 3, Candace.
She has 3 games where she scored in double figures, but
Team foul.
hasn't done it since June.
Fever ball.
Erica Wheeler has had a quiet night, only 2 points, 1 for 6 from the floor. Tierra McCowan underneath once again. And Mary, it's going to be scary once she finds her rhythm and her angles to the basket. There's so much you can do. Candace Parker behind the back, fade away. Soon to the game.
Kind of looks at Kennedy and says, sorry, Rook. You're talking about Wheeler. Only 2 points, but 6 rebounds and 6 assists.
Getting the job done is Neko Gumike runs the lane from start to finish. She had the first 4 points, and she continues to pile them on. 15 so far and 7 rebounds.
Perimeter defense, interior defense. Doesn't matter the size, the quickness.
Tierra Ruffenpratt in the passing lane as well. Look at the extension of the defense. Playing out almost to half court. 2 on the shot clock. Burke tries to get it off. Misses everything, and a shot clock violation for the Fever.
LA fans love to watch this combination. Candace Parker, little step back. Steal. Neko Gumike. Finish.
And a foul underneath that's going to go against Candace Dupree as there was an isolation foul.
Indiana foul charge to number 4, Candace Dupree. That's her
And Candace Parker steps to the free throw line for the first time tonight. And Mary, she talked to us about why she has the mind that she has, just breaking down the game. You mentioned her being an analyst on TNT and what she's seeing, and she shared an amazing story with us.
Well, she talked about watching basketball with her dad and her older brother, Anthony, and that she had a VHS tape of the 2001 NBA All-Star game. She's 15 years old, and she used to watch it like every single day.
Well, who's on that list, though? East-West, as Neko Gumike gets a steal in the bucket. She's getting things done on both ends of the floor, and a quick turnover. Frustration over every face on the Fever side as the Sparks get the ball back. You're looking at a 21-point lead for the home team.
Well, they gave up a 30-point lead down to 7 against Minnesota. They're not going to let that happen again tonight.
And looking from the top, the Sparks had to play their way back into this game with the slow start as Raquana Williams and 1.
And that foul charge to number 0, Kelsey.
Energized,
That's her first.
enthusiastic for each other's success.
Breaking down that play
Stepping to the strike.
in film. I'm pretty sure Candace will have something to add to that. Just going back to the story about her breaking down the game. It was very interesting that East and West, for the game that she was breaking down, the names that you go down the list and read.
On the East, Allen Iverson, Vince Carter, Tracy McGrady, Antonio Davis. Who's his daughter?
Well, Kayla Davis, who is quite the terror for Dallas as well, and also Candace Parker's goddaughter as well. Turnover at the top of the key, but Tierra Rutherford-Bragg gets it back a little too antsy with the handle and passes it out of bounds. Well, you gave the east side. Well, how about the west? You're breaking down film on Kobe Bryant, Jason Kidd, Chris Webber, Tim Duncan, and Kevin Garnett. That's just the starters. Rasheed Wallace, Vlade Divac.
Yeah, you're 15 and you're sitting at home watching a VHS game again, thinking the game. She talks about her dad and his question, what defense are they in, Candace? Whose dad asked a kid what defense you're in?
Not mine. As Kelsey Mitchell knocks down the 15-footer.
She needed that.
But that's who's been looking to get things started offensively.
Kelsey Mitchell's a scoring machine, and when it all starts clicking, it's going to come together in a big-time way.
Welcome back to Staples Center. This second half, Mary, has been all Sparks. They have a 23-point lead.
Just pumped up the volume in Staples.
And it's happened on the defensive end. Both teams have shown some zone. As Chelsea Gray with the deep three gets it to go.
Pouring it on. Coming into this game, the Fever still had a hint that they could make the playoffs. Ahead of them, Minnesota, they needed them to maybe go 2-4. Indiana had to go 6-1. Tiebreakers started to come into account there, but it's going to be tough coming back against Los Angeles tonight.
5 on the shot clock as Achonwa tries to get his shot off, raises the front of the rim. Having Raquana Williams on the floor with Chelsea Gray. You see how her playing off the ball has helped. But Candace Parker showing us why that film on the greats has worked.
And all that rehab and ice, she walked out to shoot around with 3 gigantic bags of ice and she said, I have a cooler in my car. I take it home.
She said, when did that start? She said, well, with time, it's more time on the training table than on the floor in my age. But she's showing us a few things. She's got some more in the tank.
Rutherford and Laney going at it.
Rises up for the 3 and rims out. Paris Key on the floor for the Fever.
Rookie out of North Carolina.
Stolen by Candace Parker. She's looking to do the ISO underneath, but Achonwa with great defense, making her fumble with the ball a bit. Chelsea hesitated the first time. The second time says the bank is open.
Janae is at half court trying to check in.
In the face like, well, I didn't call it, but it counts all the same. Deep 3 for Chelsea Gray. 65-38 lead for the Sparks. Beautiful touch pass on the inside. Achonwa can't get it to fall, but there is a foul underneath, but it's going to go against Achonwa. Foul. Let's go back.
Well, we have to say it, don't we? The bank is open.
And you better have her money, because that's exactly what Chelsea Gray is from outside.
You can see Kennedy Burke playing a little peekaboo there, and that's just not going to get it done against Chelsea Gray.
Sid Week wanted the ball back on the perimeter to get in on the action. Candace Parker from the outside. Long on the shot, still picks up the foul.
Indiana foul, charge number 11, Natalie Achonwa.
And that foul is going against Natalie Achonwa, so that's back-to-back fouls for Natalie Achonwa. She has 4 fouls. Tough night for her, too. Only 4 points. She's averaging close to double figures.
A solid season, but hasn't really been able to get going so far tonight.
You know what's interesting, Mary, just how we mentioned just the vet for Candace Parker. It's her 12th season, but she's watching those players like Kobe Bryant and Kevin Garnett and Gary Payton in the glove, and now she's breaking down the game with them when she's in the offseason with NBA TV.
Yeah, And she's playing against Kayla Davis. There you go. You play Dallas. I mean, it's a crazy world.
Achonwa looking for someone to get the ball to with 6 on the shot clock. Achonwa gets the ball back and demanding it underneath.
It's a good possession. Nothing's happening, but you keep moving, keep your head up, and just have confidence in your teammates. Achonwa making something happen.
It's a good point, Mary, just dictating what you want done on the floor. So making a pass is receive a pass in a sense.
Of course, Achonwa went to Notre Dame, 4 straight NCAA Final Fours, 2-time Olympian with Canada, and starting to shoot some three-pointers of late, expanding her game.
You guys know everything, by the way.
Her first one was this month.
Of her career.
Of her career. She has 9 double-doubles this season. She's also 9th in the league in field goal percentage. So one would have to say her points need to be higher. Sid Weiss getting in on the three-point action.
Well, you did mention that she wanted in on the action.
Smothering defense for the Sparks, but still, Laney finds a way to get a nice look off. Now, this is the first game that she hasn't started coming off of the bench, as Kennedy Burke was called into that starting lineup. Chelsea Gray with the reset at the top of the key, finds Beard baseline.
Great defense.
Help side there for the Fever. And that's huge. She's pointing to the floor, indicating that she was in the circle. And that could have been a beautiful transition play for the Fever, but instead, Natalie Achonwa walks to the other end of the floor with her 5th foul.
Pushing the ball up the floor.
Candace Parker will check out.
Boy, all season long, we've seen Chelsea Gray doing a great job of that. It's nice to see Maria Vadeeva back on the floor. She got an elbow earlier in the ball game, was a bit shaken up. Haven't seen her since.
And Erica McCall will also check in for the Fever. Contact underneath. Great defense hovering Masha Vadeeva in the paint. Bounce pass in transition. And just misses for McCall.
Well, you know, McCall's excited to be on the floor. Out of Bakersfield, went to Stanford. Her dad, the women's basketball coach, Greg McCall at Cal State Bakersfield, excuse me.
Got a California roots here on the floor. You mentioned it's Stanford grad, 2 Final Four appearances. And actually her season high was 4, and that was against LA earlier this season.
How deep are the LA Sparks with 12 healthy and eligible players? Alexis Jones takes the floor. How good was she against Minnesota?
Well, she only had her season high in the first half of the 15. So if you can go to her off the bench to give Chelsea a blow, things are working in your favor. The officials call a timeout.
Koki Shevin is not happy.
So there's a technical foul that's been assessed to Tiara McCowan.
She was upset about the lack of a call at the other end.
Sid Weiss is perfect from the line. Knocks down the free throw.
Not sure what she said.
Alexis Jones trying to get a shot off before the third quarter comes to an end. But it has been insane for the Sparks. It has been done by committee.
This third quarter was all Sparks. Defense, finishing, and everybody getting in the act. We went long ball for a while. It's a big-time lead heading into the fourth for the LA Sparks.
Welcome back to Staples Center. We're about to get things started for the fourth quarter, but it's been all Sparks. And there's an uphill climb for the Fever if they want to change things and create the upset. But Mary, as we said before, this Sparks team, now there's a whole fourth quarter left, but it's been done by committee and on both ends of the floor.
Yeah, they've done a terrific job on the defensive end. A big spark plug has certainly been Chiney Ogwumike. Just 12 minutes, but 8 points, a whole lot of hustle. 3 players in double figures for LA as they look to move to 17 and 10 and secure that playoff spot.
I mean, Mary, Chiney has had a tough stretch, too. For the last 7 games, she sat 2 out as she gets another bucket on cue right there. The last 5 games, she's only had 14 points altogether. 5 in the last 2. She's trying to get back on track offensively. She taps the ball from Tierra. 4 on the shot clock for the Fever. And they're bailed out by a foul.
Foul charge to number 13, Chiney Ogwumike. That's her
I guess Chiney's surprised. We're not.
Foul. Number 23, Stephanie Mbunga checks in for the game.
So that's her first personal foul. Second personal foul, excuse me. Long launch by Kelsey Mitchell. And there's an extended session with Pokey Chapman and Tierra McCowan as Tierra takes a trip to the bench.
No starters on the floor for Los Angeles.
Chiney going right at Mbunga.
Footwork again from an Ogwumike.
That would be a nice chalk talk, just looking at the footwork and how they get the defender to bite. Blaney. And then Sidwey's coming from behind and picking up the foul.
High efficiency from Chiney. 12 points on 6 of 7. Watch the footwork. Again. Used up the dribble. It's all about the pivot foot. Here, up and under, extend.
This is the first time that Chiney Ogwumike has scored in double figures since July 23rd.
And then she had the problems with her jaw and her teeth, and it's been a struggle to get back to it.
As Mbunga finishes nicely off the glass. Biggest lead for the Sparks has been 32. You're looking at 30 right now as Masha Vadeeva launches, misses everything. And she is still 0 for from the floor, 0 for 2 in the 4 minutes that she's played. It's been very surprising too for the Fever. Only 2 points from Erica Wheeler.
Long 3 from the corner.
For Laney coming in, not losing that steam, not being in the starting lineup. Averaging close to 6 points as Moorborg.
She really does a beautiful job of moving without the basketball.
Quick outside shot for Kelsey Mitchell, and Maria Vadeeva comes out of the pack, leading the charge in transition all the way to the rim, and just like that, 4 points, back-to-back buckets for Vadeeva.
And point guard on the bench, Chelsea Gray, doing an invitation.
And Candace Parker imitating the reach that she had on the layup. Candace Parker had some nice things to say about Masha Vadiva, not just offensively, but her improvement defensively.
Well, she just said she's going to be amazing.
And picks up another steal, but someone's got to tell her about the Wolf.
Yeah. Laney just ran it down. Beautiful pass inside. Nice job bringing it inside by Masha Vadiva.
We're going to slow things down just a bit. It was back and forth for a good 4 or 5 possessions. Chiney Ogwumike all the way to the rim, draws the foul.
Masha Vadiva, beautiful pass from Chiney. And then rips the board and says, you know what, I'll be my own point guard. And no one stops the ball. She goes coast to coast.
The Russian sensation is Chiney Ogwumike. Knocks down her first free throw of the night. Elena Beard takes a trip to the bench, and Marina Mabry checks in for the first time tonight. Candace Parker said Masha was scary, nuts, crazy. She had so many adjectives describing what Masha could be in her career. Foul on Chiney Ogwumike, that's her second. Third personal.
Kennedy Burke checks back in. LA schools went back this week a lot. Tuesday, today, a lot of other, like the suburban type schools went back. So not as many kids in attendance as we've seen.
Kelsey Mitchell knocking down the first 3 for her.
She has
1 for 5. Oh, we saw a good amount of it, not just last season, but in her tenure at Ohio State. You think she's found what's working for her?
Yes,
15
I think
points.
she's found it.
Burke trying to get all the way to the basket, picks up the foul, has an awkward landing. But either way, will step up to the free throw line for 2. As Chiney Ogwumike picks up her 4th foul. We'll be back with the action right after this.
A dominating performance by LA so far, and a big part of it off the bench. Chiney Ogwumike. Textbook, show your hands. I want the ball. Rip it, finish it. Great catch here. Pick, roll, catch, finish again. And this is all about footwork. Read the defense. Mavunga, where are you going? I'm going opposite.
Having fun on the bench. Chiney has 15 of the 28 Sparks bench points. The only player from the bench on either side that has scored in double figures. We talked about her stretch offensively, trying to get back into the rhythm, especially coming in the return of Masha Vadiva. The depth for the Sparks in the front court. And tonight we've seen her erupt. 15 points, 7 for 8 on the floor. Pump fake underneath for Masha. Tacks it back to herself. A lot of bodies around. Kalani Brown cleans up. She can't get it to fall, but does pick up the foul, or draws the foul. And that's going to go against Stephanie Mavunga. Correction, Kennedy Burke. So last game, up 30. They allowed the Lynx to come back within 7. And the first thing as Sierra McCowan enters the game for Mavunga, Candace Parker said, we almost gave that one away, and understands the importance of finishing. And it seems as if they got the point.
Played extremely well. And now we get to see a matchup we're going to see for many years to come in the post. McCowan and Brown.
Two friends actually coming into this game, and Kalani Brown comes up with the steal. Quick hands. Sierra McCowan was open for just a short spell. Steal and almost a bucket underneath, but no good. And quickly, Kelsey Mitchell pushing the pace for the Fever. But not in Brown's house.
And the bench has something to say.
The bench and the 8,000 fans.
Yeah. The diva smiling. And there goes the bench. Souvenir.
Or a t-shirt. Probably had 1 or 2 blocks in my career and felt like I was about 6 to 9 after it happened. 7 on the shot clock for the Fever. Kelsey Mitchell from deep. And you almost wonder why you don't see more of that.
Just keep about confidence. And just, I mean, there's so much that goes into it. Everyone knows she's got the ability, the talent.
Holds 8 Big Ten records. And Asmasha Diva finishes 1. Kelsey Mitchell, she holds 8 Big Ten records. Threes made, most threes attempted, and most field goal attempts, 2,560. She's a shooter.
First freshman to ever lead the nation in scoring at 24 plus a game.
She was one of those players, national game that you were watching their season. You knew that it was going to be a score.
Start the first 19-game bench, so that's an adjustment. Pieces in place for the
27 games and went a stretch after the first 2 games where she went 7 straight. And still trying to get into things. Had her last 20-point game on August 3rd.
The pass. And it had to be perfect.
Well, it's the rookie connection. Mabry to Brown. Inseparable off the court. Great connection on. And the ball goes off the leg of Kennedy Burke. Offensive.
So Baylor and Notre Dame, nice to know.
Well, that's pending. Raquana. So.
Low post. Hard drive. Clear it through and attack the bucket.
And with this bucket, she could. So that's 4 of the starters for the Sparks in double figures.
Plus Chene, that makes.
Mabry, Money Mabry on. And joins the party with 2 points.
Timeout, Indiana.
So this is the first game the Sparks have had all 12 players available. And tonight, all 12 players have scored. The depth is insane.
Mabry with the steal, making things happen defensively. LA up real big.
Welcome back, Sparks. A lot to a little. A lot of happy parents in the stands. I don't know if it's because school has started, but
probably. The party's on at Staples.
It's been all Sparks in the second half. We talked about the 12-point deficit for the Sparks, but when you're flipping it to the other side for the Fever, they're entering this game knowing that they're rebuilding their team. And we spoke with Coach Pokey about just a few things that happened before, just with the injuries. Victoria Vivian is not a part of the official roster and was released, but she is expected to return after she suffered a right ACL tear and is rehabbing that now, and she tore that overseas, as well as Shanice Johnson, who has struggled with injury in the last couple of years for her. But those are 2 powerful players. When you get them back offensively, it's scary, which you can see, especially Kelsey Mitchell.
Now, Vivian, 6'1", 8th overall pick a year ago out of Mississippi State. Terrific three-point shooter, all-around player, moves well without the basketball, 40% from beyond the arc. That's a huge loss for this team. But with a loss here tonight, you start thinking about the lottery maybe, and you turn from the bottom 4 teams, go into the lottery. A year ago, the worst record in the WNBA was Indiana. New York had 7 wins. They had 6.
See the shot, though. Let me see it.
And that number 1 pick next year, a lot to play for.
Had one
Sabrina
pick.
Ionescu,
You covered her
Oregon
a
point
great
guard.
deal. Well, you know the ins and outs and can probably break down that player more than anyone in the league, but she is impressive. And we've seen her in LA a few of the games, too.
Well, suffice to say that there was speculation if she decided to come out that Vegas and Bill Laimbeer would have taken her at number 1. That's how good she is. Could be an All-American at the point, the 2, or the 3. Excels in every aspect of the game. You see what Maite Cazorla is doing, backing up at the point in Atlanta. Big upside. It's going to be interesting.
They call her the triple-double queen. Makes it look easy. 10 on the shot clock for Mitchell. Lets another one fly. And you better with that type of release.
And it doesn't get any easier for Indiana. From here, they will travel up north and go to Seattle. No easy games out west. Seattle, Las Vegas, LA, Phoenix.
Masha Badiva, but how about Kalani Brown on the assist? And bodies on the floor. Jump ball. As Mitchell was handled going to the floor. This is the 5th 90-plus point game for the Sparks. A team that was looking for their rhythm offensively. Seems like they're finding things that are working in their favor.
First game, Derek Fisher has had everybody ready to go. And now the challenge is to find the minutes, to find the rotation, to find the combinations that can get you where you want to go. Still in hopes and in the hunt for a top 2 pick and the double bye. Top 2 finish, excuse me.
And the consistency in the good habits. He spoke to us about not going back to the habits just because we're tired. But he said his team has finally found ways to work together, but it was a collision at the other end of the floor, and Stephanie Mavunga is slow to get up on the floor as Kalani Brown finishes underneath.
No stoppage, and she's still trying to. And on Sunday here, Connecticut and Kurt Miller will come to town.
So Mavunga still trying to come to after that tumble at the other end of the floor.
Oh, she goes head-to-head with her teammate, Erica McCall.
And misses the first free throw. She had her career high against LA in the previous game. 10 points, went 5 for 6. She's a solid player, Mary. I mean, she was named the Euro Cup Player of the Year for Eurobasket this past season. The rebuild will be solid for Coach Pokey. She said, we're close. We're getting bodies back. Should be a different thing, especially after the draft this season.
And we're going to learn a lot in the next couple days. Connecticut will play Vegas on Friday at home, and then fly out to Los Angeles to play the Sparks Sunday afternoon. How about that for a 1-2 punch?
Took the wind out of me. Kelsey Mitchell once again for the 3. Doesn't get the fall this time. And you would think that would about do it for the Sparks. But instead, there is a stoppage of play. And it's a foul. So Stephanie Mavunga picks up her 4th personal foul.
How about Brown off the bench? So productive. We talked to Coach about that after shoot-around, and his point was, she got my confidence with all the work early when she played in those games when we only had 8 players. So he felt great about putting her in tonight and knowing what he was going to get.
Foul 3 of the defense. Personal.
Kalani Brown in double figures. That's 6 Sparks players in double figures.
Erica McCall at the line.
As Erica McCall is fouled and will head to the free throw line.
You know, let's tip our cap to Kelsey Mitchell. Did not score in the first half. 14 second half points, 4 of 9 from 3. In a tough game, just keep playing.
And the mentality for the Fever, this game is based on the score, over. But they're still going after the ball and fouling.
Free throws coming for your Sparks at the line. Number 5, Marina.
So Marina Mabry, as there's a stop. And both officials pointing towards the scores table.
Well, Angel, you think back to the first quarter, the Fever won the first quarter 18-14 and scored the first bucket of the second quarter.
And things changed
in a hurry
after Tierra McCowan picked up her 3rd personal foul, and it was all Sparks from that point. So with that bucket, the Sparks tie their highest points of the season. And with the next one is no good, so they'll probably stick here at 98.
And they did that against Washington.
Walk away from that game at home, 98-81. But they do get another crack at it right here. But instead, offensive foul.
Offensive foul number 2,
on Raquana Williams. Well, this is the most entertaining.
That's one word for it.
Last 20 seconds of a game. That's a 30-plus game. Kelsey Mitchell, like a freight train, all the way to the rim. No foul called, and that will do it for the Sparks. And guess what? They pick up win number 10 in a row here at Staples Center.